All right, I think we're going live everywhere. Everything is trying to load. Okay, we are live on Facebook. Are we live on YouTube? YouTube is live. Excellent. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down and get my first bike for cardio for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and also get my Facebook profile going on the phone, right? And because that worked out really, really well yesterday, didn't it? I think that worked extremely well. So let's get all three of these going at the same time. Get some good, solid streaming going. So let's go ahead and get this going also. All right. So I'm going to get the phone rocking and rolling here too. If we can find a spot where it will stay. There we go. And yeah, we'll get a good, solid set of lives going. Rufio, how you doing? Your first one in here. We're getting likes already on YouTube, so that's a good sign. So let me get my Facebook profile going. No, we're not at 209 yet, Scott. We're going to see if we can whoosh down a little bit. All right, I think the profile is going also. So now I have 3 live streams going at the same time while we're getting this bike cardio going. So I'm going to go down the road. I'm going to answer everyone's questions and keep an eye on all 3 platforms here, because I had people yesterday asking questions on all 3 streams. So I'm going to try to maintain that today, right? And try to answer everyone's questions on all of them as we go. And hopefully we get some good stuff out of it. But no, Scott, I am not at 209 yet. I'm just going to keep pushing. My Facebook profile review. So review, I have my Facebook fitness page, and then I have my profile because I have 9,000 followers on my profile. A lot of them are there for my comedy stuff, but it's actually a monetized stream. I actually do get paid for the live streams there. I just don't on my page yet because they haven't kicked me that program, but I have it on my profile. So I figured, what the heck, let's just triple dip. I did it yesterday and chat with everybody, answer everyone's questions, and just go down the road. But I literally had questions in all 3 streams yesterday. It's funny, they were all fitness though, because like Tommy came in. You guys know Tommy, he was in my profile. And then another guy who ran my original 5x5 came in and was talking. But it is different camera angles. I look pretty jacked on the profile right now, and that I look at it. Although that one cuts out really easy if I'm not careful. I've noticed that it'll turn it off. So it killed that one at 27 minutes on the profile on the phone for whatever reason. Maybe it didn't like it. Just running. But yeah, so we're doing everything, guys. I'm just going to stream all 3. So when I do the bike cardio, I have a lot of options. I mean, I also technically have another phone. I could stream Instagram if they ever monetize that. But they've never done that. They only give me for pictures there. Delts are looking good, not to say much direct work. Yeah, I mean, I just do upright rows for delts. That's it. I don't think that we need large amounts of delt work to have good delts if we're doing our big movements, Scott. Right? If we're doing our big movements, I don't think it's that necessary. Again, modern bodybuilding has overemphasized delts. Honestly, if you just get lean, really lean, and you do lots of pushing and pulling. Yes, I cut my face this morning with a new razor. Oh man, I got to get used to using a 2-sided razor again. It does way better with my psoriasis though. I've noticed it's a lot better. Dollar Shave Club was just killing me. But I did cut myself up pretty good, didn't I? Again, I got to get used to it. Got to have a softer hand with that. So, what are you going to do? But yeah, Scott, I agree with that also. People have way overemphasized it before. And I get it with really small guys. Like doing a bunch of direct delt work is a good way to make small guys look more aesthetic quick if they're lean, they haven't built a big base. But eventually, I mean, there's a point where, look, if you can bench 315 and you can do weighted pull-ups, your delts are going to be pretty big. And they're going to show if you just get leaner and leaner. And I'm not even that lean yet. So what happens when I get leaner? It'll be where we want them to be. See anything happening on Facebook? No Facebook questions yet. Give them a little time, though. You just got to give them some time. Right? Uh-oh, got to hit that stream. All right. Gotta watch my own stream there. All right. Yep. Okay. No questions yet on Facebook. I'll top over to YouTube. And yeah. All right. So back over to that points count. We only have 2 people commenting on YouTube. Plenty of viewers, though. That'll pick up. But no, Scott, I believe that's the case. And I've seen plenty of other coaches point that out. Guys are going to have round delts if they built muscle, even from big movements. Once you get leaner, they'll pop no matter what. How did the early morning live go? It was really slow review. It only got like 200 views, I think. That was about it. But, we can't expect all of those to always go well. It was nice and long. The main thing is I got over 2 hours fasted. And so that's the important thing. We got over 2 hours of fasted walking in, got a little bit of sunshine because the sun came up for part of it. And now we're in here on the bike. Like, these are really where it's at, honestly. These pay off way more because I can stream everything, right? I'm triple dipping. Plus, technically, the YouTube ads pay more on the desktop. It's more aggressive ads. You can't set the settings on the mobile app. But it went okay. I mean, of course, Dale was in there asking likely, but he stayed fitness related this morning, right? He asked a lot of really weird questions that we laughed about. Peppermint was in there. But they were all at least fitness related. A lot of stuff about the importance of breathing through your mouth versus your nose, all sorts of stuff. But I didn't have any trolls in there at all. None. We had no trolls with a 2-hour stream. So, yeah. But I'm definitely realizing I've just got to get lean. I'm seeing my structure now from those side chests. I just have to get really, really, really lean. And I know what my muscle density looks like under there based on what we can see for the stuff that's coming through. I get under 10% body fat, my outreach blows up. So I need to just prioritize it. Stay on the fasted cardio, keep the calories in tight in the evenings, and I think we'll be good. I think that is what we need while continuing to promote well-rounded fitness. That's going to be everything that I do online is going to be well-rounded fitness. Let's look at longevity, real health, real fitness. Let's not worry ourselves with elite numbers of elite powerlifting. I've already earned multiple world qualifiers in 2 different federations. I broke state records. I'm still going to compete again eventually, but I'm not going to compromise my health or longevity for it. Right? Just simply not going to do so. So I need to just stay under 200 pounds. And I literally might go to 185 at some point. But I think 190 is a good benchmark for now. I also feel like with my channel, I need to start putting out more. No, I'm not considering a master's bodybuilding show. How could I? Considering I don't go with modern bodybuilding ideals, even if I cut down lean, I'll place last. So why would I do a master's bodybuilding show? I'm not going to have this type of physique they want. I am not going to inject my shoulders. So how can you possibly place without pinning your delts? All right. So no, I won't be doing any bodybuilding shows review. You have to inject your shoulders to be competitive in bodybuilding. Not doing it. So no, I'm not considering it at all. And it's not necessary. It probably wouldn't even make me money. It's an amateur sport. I mean, I pick up clients from breaking powerlifting state records when I've done it, but realistically, competition isn't necessarily the money. The money is in good information. Money is in coaching. Money is in helping people reach their goals way more than what you do in competition. All right. Because my best years online, I've made better money than guys I know who are world level powerlifters breaking world records. So what's it doing for them? Same thing with bodybuilders. How many pro bodybuilders just don't make that good of money? So there's no point in that. Right? Plus, I don't want to support modern bodybuilding. you know, I'm very adamant that it really is a death cult. Actually, recruiting body was another big expense. I think they're just vanity exhibitions. But even then, since I'm not going to conform to their ideals, I'm looking at the classic era bodybuilding ideals. I'm not going to place. I'm not going to overdevelop my shoulders and shoot them full of oil. You can't even win in men's physique without doing that, let alone bodybuilding. You have to have oiled up shoulders. You got to shoot test and everything in your delts, as they want that excessive shoulder development. You're not going to get drug free or on conservative doses while just lifting weights, right? I had no Facebook comments on either Facebook. So I've got my page on the computer next to the YouTube, and I got my profile going here on my phone, one of my phones. Yeah. Why are the YouTube views so low on this one? I got plenty of you guys commenting, which is not anybody viewing. My God, what happened, dude? Painfully thin. What do you mean? The dude's like, you look ill. I'm 210 pounds, dude. Dude, I weigh 210 pounds. What do you mean? I look painfully thin. I look ill. What's with this guy? Oh. Hey, Scott, exactly. No one cares or even knows who Mr. Olympia is. Yeah. I don't even know who one. Some dude from Nigeria or something, I think. I don't even care, right? They don't have the same fame, and it doesn't have the outreach. It's gotten worse. And people are like, no, it's growing. It really hasn't. Alan says, do you think your physique directly impacts your coaching credentials and outreach? 10% body mass quite aggressive target. Yeah, no, I think getting leaner will affect it. But Alan, it's not about the coaching anymore then, is it? It's about social media, right? I want to hone in on a different demographic for coaching anyways. Like, I don't want to coach elite powerlifters anymore. Like, you can't pay the bills coaching elite powerlifters. Rufio, right? This guy says I look painfully thin. I look ill because I'm down to 210 pounds. I'm a 48-year-old man who weighs over 200 pounds, and I'm painfully thin. I look ill. Okay, dude. This dude must be really fat. He must be 350 pounds. He must be about 350. Oh, man. Right? We get some crazies in here. So what's he going to do when I rip down to 190? 1 pound of fat is a lot of fat to lose. It is. I mean, 7 pounds of fat will fill a gallon jug. So you take a gallon jug of water or milk. If you were to fill it with human fat, it will weigh 7 pounds. That's a gallon. People be talking about losing 20 pounds of fat. They need to understand what that is. If it's all fat, right? You're talking about 2.5 gallon, actually almost 3 gallon jugs. 1 pound of meat is a lot. But, you know, Sam Danger. I look ill. I look painfully thin at 210 pounds. I had a guy's post in there, your legs look tiny. I'm like, really? I got massive legs. Did you come off the TRT? Your legs look tiny. And I'm like, dude, you guys just watched me rep 405 on a Astograph squat the other day. Knocked out a couple of reps. And you've seen my legs. Man, if my legs are tiny, what does that say about the average guy who goes to the gym? I don't know, man. People are strange with their stuff, aren't they? What's the importance of bar speed when strength training? Michael, that is an enormous, complex topic. I mean, if your goal is maximum force production, like you're trying to hit big maxes, having fast bar speeds is pretty important, but it's also a metric of how close you are to a max. It's a metric of a lot of different things happening. I mean, you know, it's an important metric for many things, right? Carol says, 190 Blaha going to be a new era. It will. Who's that bench presser from the West Side who didn't believe in speed work? J.M. Blakely. All right, J.M. Blakely. Notice he doesn't do squat or deadlift either, though. Dude, I get a lot of carryover from speed work for lower. J.M. Blakely. Pretty much the person who's the JM press, that is where it comes from. He is credited with creating it. All right. Almost done with this coffee. Knock this cup down and set it down and get it out of the way. Put it over here. I don't want the blinds knocking it down. All right, guys, so we're done with the coffee. Anything happening with the Facebook profile? Nothing. Nobody's commenting there. Anybody commenting on? And none of the Facebooks are getting comments today. They were lit up yesterday. I'm going to do them for both of these. I'm going to do a second one of these later. We'll do them for both. We'll get all this stuff flowing. But yeah, J.M. Blakely. I mean, I disagree with a lot of things Blakely says. A lot of stuff's good. A lot of it's meh. You know. I do like something about Blakely, though. I will give Blakely a lot of credit for something. Again, his PhD is in philosophy. Sunday morning coach, your local viewers. Yeah, a lot of them might be asleep. Although my Facebook is a lot of people all over the world. Like, it has a ton of people all over the world. Right? So. The thing I like with Blakely, though, something the most valuable thing I learned from Blakely is he has something to where he does online, and I started doing it more, and I did get that from him. And it's when someone asks a question you don't get what they're getting at. I don't understand your question. Could you please ask it a different way? I got that from him. That's beautiful. Like, as someone who communicates online with people every day, I really like that. Is 6 hours of sleep optimal for recovery? Not a snowball's chance in hell. Thoughts on toast for bread? I don't eat bread. So I could throw that one right out. Why do you need breakfast foods, Rufio? Here's a question I ask people. Is having the idea of breakfast and dinner foods hurting your fitness goals? Why should your breakfast be different than your lunch or your dinner or any other meals? Like, why do you need special foods? Because it's tradition. I mean, I'm not telling you there's thoughts on it. I just don't eat bread. It tends to be heavily refined. I'm going to tend to overeat it a little bit. I'm just not a big bread guy. Right? I don't buy or keep bread around personally to make toast. I don't have a toaster either. Since I don't buy bread, I don't own a toaster. Right? Does timing of food matter? Well, Scott, what do you think? That question, let's start that over. I'm going to do the J.M. Blakely. I don't understand your question, Scott. Please ask it a different way. Now, as a vague question, obviously, the timing of your food impacts a million different things in your body. So, yes, it matters. But let's start this over. Right? I don't understand your question. Please ask it a different way. 2 meals a day. What? Yeah, I don't know that I can get behind. Are you happy that way? And is your body composition and your performance feel great? Do you feel satiated, energetic, and are you performing optimally doing that? If so, then carry on. right? It probably isn't for me. Thoughts on if it fits your macros? Horrific. I come from the obesity end of the equation. If it fits your macros, is incompatible with people who have not been ripped their whole life. Like people who are naturally thin, even in this, or not overweight, severely overweight in this crazy food environment, can do if it fits your macros just fine. This idea of working junk food in and making it fit your macros for people who have been seriously overweight and still have certain binge eating and differences in leptin and ghrelin, which is around 70% of the population, it is a recipe for disaster. Okay, and it comes back to that point I always make, why do we need to work junk food in? Because when you say if it fits your macros, it's, oh, your macros are, well, no, it's not just your macros. What is in those macros absolutely affects thermic effect, appetite, everything. So even calories in, calories out models are not identical. The type of carbs, the type of fat, the type of protein you eat absolutely will affect your energy out. It will affect the calories out into the equation. So my thoughts on the whole, if it fits your macros, as if you need to know your exact macros, right? That alone is silly. But this only needs to exist because people want to work garbage in. You wouldn't need to even track macros if you weren't trying to work junk food into your diet. You could be way more loose with those things and still recomposition just fine. So I think it's built around an excuse to continue to eat foods that are not foods. You know, I feel like it has its own cult mentality with an idea that, oh, you need to fix your relationship with food if you can't work Pop-Tarts in or Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And it's like, but those are not foods. What world does a person live in to where hyper-palatable engineered food-like substances that we need to find ways to work them in? You know, and I think that's the problem with the philosophy. These things are not food. Like, you don't need a conspiracy theory for any of this. You can simply look at the openly available data. Food science built around learning. Companies hire scientists to engineer hyper-palatable foods to beat their competitors for selling junk food. These foods are engineered for you to want to eat more so they can turn a larger profit. There's no global conspiracy or anything needed. It's just supply and demand in an environment where companies are allowed to manufacture garbage and sell it to you as food. So again, I'm not big on this concept. I don't think that we need to learn to work junk food in. I don't think junk food is required to be happy. The emotion of human happiness existed before Ben & Jerry's ice cream was created. So when you say that if it fits your macros, my head automatically goes to their cult-like stuff from back in the day. They pushed Ben & Jerry's ice cream and Pop-Tarts. They were the symbols of the movement, as some of them put it. Right? Okay. Not much happening on any of the Facebooks, but they add up over time. I'm going to hit that button so that one doesn't try to close on me. All right. So those are my thoughts, Rufio. I guess the YouTube is going to be slow today, though. I thought it would be good because we had people in the first minute, but it's going to be one of those, isn't it? That's okay, though. That's okay. We're making good time. All right, we're making good time on it. And yeah, I hope people can hear me really well on the profile, though, with this, because it is set to the side, and I'm normally talking to this big mic. Let me make sure the volume is good too. Sometimes the streaming software tries to turn the volume down a little bit. Man, so we're just dead here on the YouTube. Like, Rufio, is anyone still here? Both you guys were talking, and then it's just like some people dropped one comment and nothing else. It's going to be one of them days where it's going to be slow. Maybe the second one later will be better. This one can still pick up. We're going to run it longer. It's going to be a slow weekend. Good thing I'm triple streaming, so we triple dip into 3 different streams with all of it. All right. So anyone else, man? It's been like 5 minutes since we've had a question anywhere. It's been a little bit. Okay. But it is kind of early still, isn't it? This is the downside of me doing the early cardio. I'll think of a good one. It's all good. Hey, Scott, we can just talk any fitness thing. It doesn't have to be in-depth questions about crazy stuff. We can literally talk about dips, dude. We need content. Otherwise, I'll just talk about cutting. I think of a joy one, So again, for me, that came up in the other stream too, of again talking about powerlifting and density. So, and I use as an example. So as I said, like in the last vlog, the reason I just have to get leaner, you guys have seen what my calves and my forearms and stuff look like, right? When they're all pumped. My whole body looks like that from all the years of powerlifting under the fat. So once I get leaner, my pecs are going to look like my calves. My back is going to look like my calves, right? And so on. And a perfect example, we can get mad at Mark Bell all we want for the crazy diets he pushes, but you've seen how he looks lately shredded? Notice that difference in the muscle quality that he has even at a smaller size now versus, say, the average guy who's just bodybuilding and lean. It's not the round, soft look. His muscles look like they're literally just busted out of granite. That's what we mean by power training, when you lift really heavy for a long time and build that muscle maturity and then cut down, right? Some of the best powerlifters period up to one top set and then moved on, not much volume. Yeah. I mean, really, couldn't we do that on a full body? Like, I thought about that too. If I want to just really go in hard on my powerlifting, I could just ramp up to a max once a week and just do full body bodybuilding the other 2 days. And then literally, if I just had a powerlifting day every week, I could keep big numbers and just keep doing old school training. There were powerlifters back in the day with the elite numbers who they really did that. Right? I read about one years ago who just came in and ramped up to max squat, bench, and deadlift on the weekends and then had a busy physical job the rest of the week. And he was a monster. I glad he was on gear. You don't warm up like them with those around 10 warm-up sets. I don't think a lot of them do 10 warm-up sets, dude, now. Yeah, that crazy pyramid up people do is kind of strange to me. I don't get that. Right? I don't get that at all. But yeah. So I've never understood that. Let's do that many warm-up sets going on. But are they getting some effect from? Probably there's some training response because they're close enough to failure, even with some of those as they're ramping, they're still getting an adaptive response. There's definitely been some who train that way. Right? But I think ironically, something I said in the first stream earlier today, right? Something I said in the first stream earlier. See if there's any other comments now. So is the average guy like that? Look at the little program I threw up on Facebook. I threw up basically a 30, 40-minute workout someone could do, involving about 4 supersets. And the average guy could come do that 3 times a week, and they'd have a great physique if they just got lean. The average guy, like if they weren't chasing anything extreme, And it was, if you look at it, I put it up in a bunch of groups too, with some screenshots of me doing the 4 lifts. Guys could come in and do a Widowmaker squat, breathing squat, right? Where you take your 10 to 12 rep max, do the 10 reps, and then do breathing, and then build up and try to get to 20. Followed by a 20 rep hard set of pullovers immediately after as a superset. And then just do 3 sets of weighted chin-ups or pull-ups with 3 sets of weighted dips for 3 sets to failure as a superset. 4 supersets. The average guy did that 3 times a week and just progressively overloaded it, all that to pretty much failure. And then they just ate a good diet and got lean. How would their physique rank? To the average person, they would look like a god. Problem is, you start saying that as a coach or someone putting out information, and you put out programs like that, it kills your business. And I've thought about doing that, putting out a bunch of full body workouts that people could do, and they could run them on individual progressions, right? Putting out 4 or 5, 6, 7 of them over time, and people could mix and match them. They could run the same one 3 days a week, or they could do 3 different ones out of the list in a week and just run through it. Would the average person get phenomenal results? I think they wouldn't. But that's one that I definitely put up. And it got some decent responses. But really, is that not an effective full body workout? What got neglected? Your hamstrings, maybe? But really, Widowmaker squat followed by pullovers is a superset. Done. That's going to take you several minutes, of course, because of the nature of the breathing squats. And then 3 sets of chins or weighted pull-ups, supersetted with weighted dips. How long does that take? 30 minutes? How effective is that in terms of growth stimulus? Right? And that's pretty much my variation of a documented old school training template. Told a friend, if you went to the gym once a week, squat, bench, dead, pull up, you get stronger and better. I throw some deadlifts in there. But, yeah. Even once a week, yeah, I agree. The average guy, they'd make gains doing that. As long as they went hard on those, they could. But we start doing even 3 days a week, focusing on those big lifts. Again, assuming people get lean enough. I think that's the problem too. People quit chasing body weight and just got lean on a bro dieting and did some cardio. The average person would look pretty phenomenal off of programming like that. They want that Hollywood physique. That would do it. I'm going to change Jason to Blaha full body army, right? We could. Funny enough, if I wanted to, I could literally cut down to training like that and just do lots of curls from my biceps with it. I actually mentioned that in the stream too. I already assessed my muscle mass. I can look real close and I know my proportions. People think I make up whatever. I know my real measurements. I can see the pictures. I've seen my DEXAs. I could stop lifting weights completely and just do nothing but curls and cardio and drop to 170 and have that physique that everyone wants and markets. That's funny. I could probably do it at this point. I'd have to drop down to that body weight though. Just get lean, right? But it's also structural genetics. I looked big before I started lifting. So when I was a runner and got down to 170, everyone thought I worked out. there are people like, you've been hitting the iron, and I'm like, right now I run. I do push-ups, but I wasn't lifting at all yet. Um, I've been over 300 pounds and dieted down. But no, as far as just the average guy, I mean, that stuff would work. It really would. Right? Because most people are not chasing the sort of arms that we want for bodybuilding and influencer purposes. They could just do chin-ups and dips. And you're not going to get massive arms, but the average guy doesn't want massive arms. And does an average 170-pound lean guy doesn't need 18-inch arms. They would look deformed at that point almost. So there is that to factor in. But really, I mean, if I just really wanted to sell out to the totally slimmer aesthetic thing, I could just do nothing but arm work and diet down super lean and lose muscle, and just do cardio and conditioning. But I'm going to do some of that more. Once I get leaner and we do all the lists to get there, I'll eventually work in just doing more athletic stuff. Jogging, my sled work, jumps, throws, right? Yep. But yeah, I don't know that I even need that calf work I'm doing right now. I mean, it's nice to do. Keeps my metabolic rate higher. But I almost feel like for me, just living on squat, bench, deadlift, pull-ups, dips, lots of curls, probably all that I need. Curls though. But I agree, Carol, do the Blaha full body, and I feel like I really need to go in that direction, and that could be a viable ebook eventually too. Me to work in a bunch of the full body individual sessions that people could build into the program. Because then they can plug and play. Also, the beauty with a full body 3-day-a-week template, if you miss a day, it doesn't matter. No muscle has got neglected. You pick right back up in your rotation, So for real life, it works really, really, really well. All right. Works extremely well. It's been, I can't believe we've had no Facebook comments at all anywhere. So, interesting. Yeah, Carol, we might need to do that. But Carol Scott, guys, get a few more comments going. The YouTube's been super slow today. I don't know why. Again, it could be the time slot too. It's still, I'm thinking it's late in the day because I've done over 2.5 hours of cardio, wrote a client sheet. Right? So to me, this is like, man, the day, we're well into the workday, right? And I'm realizing it's 8 a.m. where I live. It's 6 a.m. on the West Coast. So it's in the future. No, I'm not going to do sprints. No. Jogging. I said jogging, not sprinting. No, dude, I'm 48 years old. I am not going to sprint. I'm just not doing it. Nope. Why would I risk those tears and injuries? What's to be gained from it? I can do some plyos. I can do my sled work. I can do some box jumps to promote general athleticism. I almost feel like with the bench, I could really just come in and bench heavy since I'm going to do dips for volume anyways. I've actually thought about that. I almost feel like I need to just squat and bench, or not squat, but deadlift and bench heavy as I'm getting more into this full body I'm doing. Because that felt good on Friday, right? Friday felt good to come in and just do, nice flat back pause bench for a double. Like, oh, that felt good. I like that. Right? Could definitely do more of that. Because I'm doing all the dips and pullovers. My chest and triceps are getting plenty of work off those. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about any sprints. Might be too risky. Army is great marketing slogan. It really is, right? My army of orcs, except I'm not doing gaming. So I got to spend it to Lord of the Rings. I don't think we need all that. But yeah, make it the Blaha army. But I can do more of that as I get, like I said, let me get leaner, get stuff flowing again, then I'll start messing with more other athletic stuff. Full body training, cardio, plyometrics, clean eating. I push the food more than anything on Facebook and stuff. So people don't catch as much of that on YouTube. They see more of the training. My Facebook stuff is a lot of food stuff. You may notice that, Carol. I got a lot of nutrition debates, did a lot of discussions of clean eating, all my food pictures. So it's funny. So you see YouTube, people on YouTube think of me as a strength trainer. We go to Facebook and I'm more about diet. But it's harder for me to make videos on that sometimes to the same degree. But pictures and posts, especially fighting back against the fad diets, I go really hard on the crazy versions of keto, the carnivore, the vegans. I slime them nonstop. Because we have to fight back against that. That's really a problem. It's really a problem. Right? Like they're killing people. They're killing people's gains, killing people's hearts. Man, this one's run really long on the profile. Surprised there's been no real engagement there. I wonder what it's got for views though. I wonder what we got for views. I wonder if it'll tell me the views. Oh no, it's doing pretty good. All right, cool. Any benefits to doing pre-exhaust supersets like measure? Absolutely not. Common sense should tell you they're a problem. The research shows they produce less muscle. So I know. Keep in mind, Menzer ran a lot of gear. That's how he got away with it. So no, I think pre-exhaustion, I do not believe in it. I don't think it's a good idea. And I think the only people who get away with it run lots of drugs, so it doesn't matter. But realistically, pre-exhaustion is absolutely a dead end, right? Absolutely a dead end. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end the profile stream so I can turn it into, so I can keep this phone charged. I guess I'm going to do a walk later. I need to turn it into a reel also. But no, as far as the Menzer supersets, absolutely not. There's no point to it whatsoever. The pre-exhaustion will reduce. Every study that's looked at it caused less muscle growth, and it makes sense why it would. And even if you understand the point of compound movements and you look at it, you realize it's limiting muscle growth, right? It's not getting the title saved. Let me save that up. No, I mean, I didn't assume you did it, but since you asked, no, I absolutely think it's a bad idea, and the evidence tends to support that. Right? You got to go with the evidence on that one. Well, you don't have to, but I recommend it. Right? Like that style barefoot training and healthy longevity. Hold on, I'm going to plug this phone in. I want to keep it charging. The barefoot training, man. Barefoot training. I agree. I'm a big fan. I think everybody knows that. Although I could throw my weightlifting shoes on. I really wanted to go hard on the high bars. Yeah, barefoot training. Right? Oh, man. But yeah, Carol, I want to promote all that more and more. Just healthy living, healthy longevity diet, well-rounded fitness. Yeah, I feel like a lot of my own full body, I need to streamline more. I do like the Widowmakers I like the breathing squats with the pullovers. I almost feel like I don't need a lot of bench or deadlift volume. I honestly think I just need to do them heavy. And then use all the other stuff to build muscle. The dips, the pullovers, the pull-ups, the curls, the squats. Those can be my real muscle builders, honestly. I really liked that workout on Friday. I really liked doing that Widowmaker and the pullover, and then coming over after all that and doing bench and then hitting a heavy set. That heavy set, it just felt good. Like, man, just to get 315 in my hands again, 3 plates, it felt good. I saw my chest. My chest even responded to that. You saw my chest. It was like 315, right? With all that flat back. As much as I do like the rep work on bench, and I feel like I get just as much chest from the dips though. It's bench heavy, but flat back heavy, right? We come up and do it all flat. You know, I feel like I do need a little bit of a ramp up set for that though first. Do 275 and then jump to that. I almost feel like deadlift, I need to do the same thing. Just walk over, throw 5 wheels on, and just crank out some reps and count it as my hamstring. You know, I want to start supersetting more of my pull-ups and my dips though. I feel like that would be really, really useful too. I'm gonna have to adjust where I put my dip bars if we do that though, don't we? We're gonna have to make some adjustments to make that happen. So there is that. But I think that's a really useful tool too, right? Supersetting weighted pull-ups and weighted dips. That's real training right there. Right? That's the real deal. Yeah. But I also question, do I really even need the Widowmakers or should I just squat heavy? All right. Could we just squat heavy? Might do that tomorrow on Monday. Might do it that way. What do you guys think? And this is really, really low views on YouTube today. How do we only have 6 viewers on a YouTube live? For me, that's really strange. I think it didn't go into people's feeds. We'll see how the next one does later. It's okay to really hang on the edges. Scott, it depends on what you're doing. I've done 6s and 8s on them. I've had clients do maxes on them on conjugate, true 1 rep maxes, but probably it's an exercise I would generally use for hypertrophy. I'd probably stick more 6 to 12 reps on it, honestly. Personally, if we're going to ask, if we own that subject. So I would tend to lean in that direction personally, Scott. I would not necessarily go crazy heavy on it. I'd do rep work. But if you're doing conjugate, it does work as a max effort rotation lift. Squat heavy. Yep. I think that's what I should do, Carol, instead of the Widowmakers. Really just keep my leg density. Yeah. No, the Widowmakers are fun, though. I think they really work for certain demographics. But might just come in and build up to a heavy single or double and count that as my quad work. People will really get upset. They're like, his only quad work is heavy squats and deadlifts for really low reps. It's thigh work. But given my overall size, do I really need more than that at this point? Most of my deadlifts are manual stiff-legged as a struggle with heavy barbells. Why is that, Scott? Scott, you need some coaching on that? I can help a brother out. We can get you fixed. We can get you sorted. Right? Can sort that right out. Oh, I put up Chris's front squat. I didn't put up his miss. He has never front squatted before. I'm like, let's do something different for your max. And he got to he's never done a front squat. He did a 315 front squat. Then he went for 345 and he got halfway up and he lost his rack and he dropped it, which sucked because he was strong enough to do it. But he's a 500-pound squatter too at this point. So, all right. We got Chris. 53 minutes. I want to stick this one out to the hour. Like, even though this stream is really pretty much dead, I feel like I do need to stick it out. I wonder why, though. I wonder why it's so different on the algorithm at the moment with that. Some dude wrote in the thing there, guys. Do you guys see that in the community tab? Go check that out, by the way. Scott Carroll. Guys, check that out and go respond to that guy in the community tab. It says your legs are looking really tiny. Are you off the TRT? Like going off TRT would cause any noticeable loss of muscle, right? Do people really think that people on TRT, if they quit their TRT, are going to lose 10 pounds of muscle or something? It's a serious question for people who are listening. Do people actually think that would happen? That just seems like a really, really strange take to me, that a guy who's on normal TRT, if they came off, that they would lose a bunch of muscle. So it's a serious question to people who maybe don't know a lot about it. Is this like a conception that people actually have? Like, they actually think that would happen? Because it wouldn't. You probably wouldn't be able to tell if they came off per se. They might lose 2 or 3 pounds of muscle over a year. And I do mean that. That's about it. So it's really strange ideas that people have. It just wouldn't be that significant. Their mood, their health, if they lost anything, is because they lost motivation to train. But it wouldn't be the muscle protein synthesis in. Right? So people have really strange ideas with some of that. I don't get it. Like I don't get it sometimes where people come up with these ideas, you know. Thoughts? Yeah, you're right, Scott. I mean, a 500 squat is nothing to scoff at. You know, I put stuff about that too, and you always get the most hardcore power lifters on like my Facebook. I've mentioned that. I've had one of them who chimes in, like, do you really think a 500 squat is strong? Like, that's not even baseline strength. And it's just like, dude, what delusional world do you live in to work? I put that before. I'm like, you can be brutally strong, at least a 500 squat, you know, whatever, right? You really think a 500 squat is brutally strong? That's like high school level strength. These guys really say stuff like that, but then they're 300 pounds and on 2 grams of test and fat. It's just, this dude's cracking me up. 300-pound fat guys on 2 grams of test will chime in. Oh, no, man, a 500 squat really isn't that strong, honestly. You know. It's just like, dude, you're gonna choke and die on your own fat and sleep apnea, brother. You gotta, like, you know, come on, back it down a notch. Again, we're gonna talk about fitness, or, you know, we're gonna be about fitness or not. Oh man, what a world. All right, we just got to run this one out. My max is about 330. Okay, fair enough, Scott. Fair enough. I mean, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Yep. So yeah, I think I may do more of that. I liked the Widowmaker. It was fun. Of course, I've done some others of those. It's not the first Widowmaker I've done. But I do kind of feel like just getting under heavy squats and deadlifts is really all I might need right now for my quads and hamstrings and stuff. These fat guys are using so much leverage. Well, they're also on a lot of drugs too. I mean, and then that bloat, you know, heavy doses of test, lots of body fat. Most people 500 squat. Yeah, for the average person, a 500 squat is absolutely almost unobtainable level. The average guy training, they can't even conceptualize a 500 squat. The average gym has never had a 500-pound squat in it, like a true raw squat. You know, but again, it shows how extreme we get in these different ideas. But I mean, let's step back and think of extreme there. How many of the current modern bodybuilders say stuff like Arnold wasn't shit? Arnold didn't even have good genetics. He didn't even have a good physique. Let this sink in of how extreme and diluted people get at the extreme ends with enough drugs in these sports. I mean, no, imagine having the audacity for these modern bodybuilders to get up, and some of them to literally say, Arnold didn't even really have that good genetics or a good physique. See where we're going with this? Like, are we serious, guys? Did you really and truly just say that? So it's the same thing when we talk about a 500 squat, whereas in anyone watching, they saw me do the 500 back in January at my age and not really fat. The average person, like, that's crazy. That's fake weights. I got accused of fake weights on it. Right? Jason, I changed squats. I don't need the belt squats though. That's kind of the point. I've done really well on squat only programs for my thighs in the past. And I had massive quads. Again, go back and look UK, my legs when I was hit a 230 kilo squat, doing nothing but squats. Did my legs, were they not just as big as, say, Arnold's were when he was winning? Mark, why would we why would we mess with any of Arthur Jones's nonsense? Like, you do know he was a con man, right? Just stop, dude. That wasn't a real experiment with real results. It was nonsense with no true documentation of a guy with extreme muscle memory who ate a ton of evil. Just stop. All this hit stuff is shill con man nonsense. Arthur Jones was a businessman. That's it, with really good marketing. Right? The hit Jedis need to remember that. And I'm not saying Minzer didn't have good training when he was training for the Olympia. He did, but it has nothing to do with any of that hit stuff. Not even in the same ballpark. So why people still live on old things, like literally to bring up the Colorado experiment in 2025 is rather strange, all things considered. Right? No one got amazing results from any of that stuff. It died out a long time ago. I don't know why it made a quick resurgence again in the last year. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. Let me end the Facebook first, since it's a little slower. And so I love you guys. I'm going to talk to you next time. Yeah, it was Casey Viator. So guys, we're out of here. I'll do another one of these here later.